Hey there, it is day 7, the 7th thing out of the 7 things that I learned or reconfirmed this year that might help you next year. This one I've known for a very long time, and yet it's the first year I really committed, I suppose, to practicing it, to embodying it, to doing everything I needed to do to explore this idea. And that is what I know to be true. This is an absolute truth that I know this year, is that we change the world from the inside out. So the way that I change the world isn't because I go around ranting and raving and activating people and talking about it and convincing and manipulating and all this bullying. I don't go around bullying others to be the way that I want the world to be. Whenever I have that, I used to be an activist. I would activate people around the environment. I would be like, we should be more loving and kind towards animals and plants and trees. It's the earth, you know, and yet it didn't really matter. I don't know that I activated many people. And then I'd go overseas. I lived overseas, and then I would come back and you'd be like, the media is so biased. You're not seeing the real world. Like, you see a fraction of what's true, and the world is like, it's so different. There's just blatant lies on the media, and nobody listened to me. They just thought I was nuts. And what I realized was I had to just be the change, right? Like Gandhi says, I had to embody that way of being so others could feel it and see it. Whenever we push someone to try to convince them that they should listen to our side, it doesn't work, right? It even doesn't work when I work with clients. Like, the thought of telling someone that they need to be a certain way, it just, like, all of it does is brings up people's resistance. So this was really evident, this idea that we changed the world from the inside out with this past election. And what's about to come? We have massive opportunity to pay attention to who we are being at all times. And that idea that I saw a lot of behavior during the election, before, during, and after the election, that was, you know, name calling and divisive and ugly, things we would never want our children doing in school, or the things that we're doing to each other on social media and in the public. And our systems, our culture has begun to go that way. And that is disheartening. And it's part of it, I think, is because we all have somehow subtly learned that everyone else has the power to make change. Everyone else should be changing. We're waiting for someone else to change, when really the change has to come from within us. Like, if I want the world to be a better place, I need to look within. That's what real leadership is. Self-awareness, self-responsibility, and then there's many others. But when I teach leadership, it was always about be self-aware. What am I doing? Be responsible with that. That's what helps your team. That's what helps all the people around you. So if all of us were more in those leadership roles to, like, be the change, I really have to look within myself. You know, where am I being intolerant? Where is that seed of racism or misogyny within me? How do I transform that? Where am I being unkind or thoughtless, unthoughtful, not generous? Where am I not being those things to myself, within me? Because that is exactly what's emanating out in the world. When we become the way that we the way that we want the world to be, we radiate that out through everything, through our energy, through our verbal, nonverbal, everything becomes that. So the only way to really change the world is through changing ourselves. We must change inside. We must get so selfishly aware that we are so aware of what we're doing that is affecting others, that just our way of being changes others. This is the opportunity for that. And I saw that this year when I was able to respond to things differently this year, rather than be in reaction to them. When I responded and gave people space, things changed. Opportunity arose. Possibility existed where none existed before. So my knowing this year, my truth, you know, what I know to be true right now until it is no longer true, is that we each must change the world from the inside out. We must stop looking at others to hold the power to change the world. We are not victims. We are simply not remembering how much power we have. And so coming back within, being the people we want to be, radiating it out. And I am uber passionate because I know this. I know I saw the difference this year. So if you take that into 2017, please consider being selfish and looking at yourself. Where are you? holding those seeds of that ugliness that you're seeing in other people. How can you transform that? Because that has been my journey, and that has been profound this year. So may you also have that experience.